Mark Sanchez celebrated his 23rd birthday on Wednesday. He'd like to celebrate it with a victory on Sunday. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you here on the NFL Preview Show, presented by Tyson Anytizers. Jacksonville at the Meadowlands to take on New York, a 1 p.m. Eastern game on CBS. NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. This week joining us from Florida. He'll be back up here next week in New York. Pat, how about Mark Sanchez? Because in his first three games was great. They started 3-0. In his last five, completed less than 50% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, 8 picks. What are you expecting from the rookie after the bye week?
Well, first off, we all predicted that after 3 games, the NFL defensive coordinators would have enough to build a game plan around him. They did it. He stalled. But they did develop a tremendous running game, and I think Sanchez is ready to come back now and start to play better football and be calculated in his passing attack. And he's playing against a Jacksonville team that has 8 sacks all year. He's going to get an opportunity to throw the football.
Yeah, he is against that defense, but it's a switch defense now, Pat, because last week Jack Del Rio went from the 3-4 to the 4-3. What does that accomplish?
I visited with Jack this summer, and they were practicing both defenses. His whole issue is, do I have the right players up front to line up in it? He has undersized pass rushers that did not succeed in a 4-3 defense before, so he moved to a 3-4 to get them to stand up and play that way. It worked for a while. But now, as he looks internally at his defensive tackles, he's not set to play well inside. He's got to move back into a 4-3. But trust me on this one. Jack will move in and out of both defensive packages as the game goes on.
Well, Jack also knows that, Jack, of course, being Coach Del Rio, also knows that his best weapon is the guy lining up in his own backfield. That's Maurice Jones-Drew. Are you expecting a big game from him? Because remember, the Jets without all-pro defensive tackle Chris Jenkins for the rest of the season.
Well, I am expecting, and in fact, if you watch Jacksonville, they're 4-4. If you watch this team, it's all about Maurice Jones-Drew, whether it's as a receiver or a runner. So I'm looking about how many touches he's going to get. He's now moving towards that 25 to 27 touch range. Jacksonville, one of the top 10 teams in the NFL that throws to their running backs. So I expect him to have well over 100 yards of offense, probably 100 yards of rushing alone, and another 50 to 60 receiving. It's the kind of day he's going to be the one they count on. David Garrard has not thrown a touchdown pass on the road this year.
Yeah, that's an issue, and last week was his first in 4 games. He had one to Mike Sims-Walker. Pat, let me ask you, both these teams are 4-4, so it's a big game for both of these to stay in the playoff chase. When you look at these teams, do you see a team that, either of them, that could compete for the postseason?
I think the winner of this game stays in contention. The loser's going to fade out of the picture because they'll have lost one of the tiebreakers. They still have to contend with a fast-rising San Diego team. Houston's hanging around the top group. And I think you and I last week agreed at least 2 teams will come out of the AFC North. To me, they're fighting for one spot. 3 or 4 teams left. The loser of this game is going to step to the side.
All right, who loses it then, Pat?
Well, I think that the New York Jets will win this game at home. I like them right now. I like their pressure scheme. I don't see enough from the passing game of Jacksonville. I've already said Sanchez, I think, will do a better job throwing the football. I like the Jets. It's not going to be a high-scoring game. Neither team should make it over 21 points. Give me the Jets at home.
All right, well, they've never beaten the Jaguars at the Meadowlands. We'll see if that changes this weekend. Pat, we'll see you back here next week in New York.
Take care.
All right, folks, for more on this game, stay right here with CBSSports.com. Again, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. That'll do it for the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty Good Man Snack. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.